facing your fears and chasing your fears. I'm gonna say chasing because the more frequently you do it, if you make it a continuous practice, it will get easier and easier, and you will feel your fears fade away drastically and rapidly even. And you'll still feel fear, but it won't have so much power over you. And that's the goal. The goal is that even when you feel fear about something, you can still move in accordance with what you want most truly in your heart, body, mind, and soul, instead of just responding to the fear and reacting from it. So I made a list of some of my biggest fears. Number 1, I'm afraid of not being seen or known for my vulnerabilities and my intricacies. Number 2, I'm afraid that I'm not doing enough. Point blank, period. I'm afraid I'm not doing enough. That's a tough one. I'm sure a lot of people relate to that as well. I'm also, sometimes it feels more like I'm not doing the right things rather than I'm not doing enough, but same vibe. Number 3, I'm afraid to be alone. That's a fear that a lot of people have. I'll talk about that more. Number 4, I'm afraid of change. Yeah, classic. I know. That's also one that a lot of people are afraid of. Change is scary. It feels like, your nervous system prefers what's familiar because your nervous system knows how to respond to what's familiar. And number 5, I'm afraid of being captive to abusive people again. Or even like thinking that I'm captive to them. So here are some ways that I address these fears every day. Number 1, afraid of not being seen or known for my vulnerabilities and intricacies. I write vulnerably. I need to work more on sharing it because I struggle with having the community to share my writing with and knowing how to share it more publicly. But I also post videos about myself, about vulnerable stuff, about my intricacies, about the things that I believe and want and work toward. And that is a way that I feel seen and heard and known, because I'm putting a record of myself out there. That really, I've only been doing it for a little over a month, but it's been helping so much with my fear of being known, because I don't even need that many people to see them or comment or anything like that, but just knowing that I have this record, even to look back on for myself, yeah, really helpful. You should try it. Okay. Number 2, I also engage in art just for the sake of art. Not for the sake of posting or sharing necessarily, but just for the sake of creating it and engaging with it in that creative process with myself, especially with new media, like new forms of art. It's really fun to challenge yourself to stuff that you are not comfortable with, just for the sake of engaging with it and experiencing creation with no expectations and with no, success or failure or anything. Number 2, I'm afraid that I'm not doing enough or I'm not doing the right things. How I chase that fear is, 1, I affirm that I am enough no matter how much I do or can do. This is really important because, especially in the framework of ableism and disability, you are enough. No matter how much you are doing or can do, you are enough. You are, You are worthy of unconditional love and acceptance, right now in this current moment, exactly as you are. No change, no nothing. Just exactly how you are. Affirming that is my step 1 for this part. And my step 2 is to hold myself accountable by looking at what I'm avoiding most and seeing if there's something that I can do to get that off my list and stop avoiding it. Like paperwork, that's something I talk about in some of my videos that I avoid because it freaks me out, and I always think that I'm gonna make a mistake and then I'm gonna face legal penalties for that on paperwork, any paperwork, and that's so frustrating. So right now, that's an area that I can look at and say, I'm avoiding this. I'm gonna turn around and tackle this head on and try to get it off my list so I don't even have that hanging over me. Then that actively affects my feeling of whether or not I'm doing enough and the right stuff. Number 3, and again, you have to look at what you can do, not what you should do or you want to do, but what you can do. So if you want to do it but you haven't been able to do it on your own, or you haven't done it on your own and you feel like you're just putting it off or whatever, ask for help. If all you can do is ask for help, then that's doing enough. You're working toward it. You are doing something. You're holding yourself accountable by looking at what you're avoiding and looking at the ways that you can stop avoiding it, even if you require help or support, accommodations, anything. Number 3, I'm afraid to be alone. And the funny thing about this is being alone doesn't necessarily, it can teach you about yourself when you are alone. It can teach you how much more capable you are alone than you thought, or it can teach you that being alone is safe, but it doesn't take the fear away. And so that's not the way that I chase that fear, especially because if you just chase being alone because you're afraid of being alone, you could be ignoring a lot of important support that you need and isolating yourself. And isolating yourself is a dangerous, it's a sign of, mental health struggle and like sometimes like a self-sabotaging behavior. So I don't do that. Instead, first, I affirm that I affirm that I am whole, loved, and cared for even when I am alone. And I do spend some time alone. It's important to have a balance. My alone time teaches me that it's safe, it's okay to be alone. I am whole, I am loved, I am no less worthy when I'm alone than when I'm with others. And the other step 2 for how I address being fear of being alone is to connect with my community, because a lot of fear of being alone has to do with fear of having no support from other members of community, any community, your community or just the community that exists around you. No one really can exist in complete isolation. So recognizing where your community is currently and seeking more community helps a lot with the fear of being alone, because when you are in connection with a wider community and a wider network of people, you won't feel alone even when you spend time by yourself. You feel more supported and connected because you are. So finding ways to ground myself deeper into community by communicating with more people. If you can go out physically and meet people for your community, like making friends at like game stores, or going to you can look online and look at like club meetings and stuff like that, or there's different ways, but there's also like online communities, servers, chat rooms, And like there are crochet and knitting forums that are people use still daily. I say that because of course I do crochet, but grounding community can help with your fear of being alone. Number 4, I'm afraid of change. That's another really, really relatable one, because a lot of people, it's so natural for your nervous system to seek what it knows. So to chase that fear, I instigate change, I familiarize myself with change, and I optimize change by finding the silver linings in it. A really good way to do this is, if you have a certain change that's happening or coming up, or feeling, you feel it coming on, or anything like that, a certain change that it's on your mind, it's making you nervous. Imagine, if possible, that there's some way that this change is actually a good thing. Sit and take a minute to do that, and consider and visualize how this could show up, how it could manifest, that this change is actually a good thing. And then just hold that in your mind as a possibility, because the bad things that you think are coming with this change are just as possible as the good things. And holding space for that opportunity is going to actually allow you to recognize more positive things when stuff is coming up and changing. Okay, and then and also instigating change, little changes, big changes. Try to choose change, to flow in it, and see what it feels like. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, because familiarizing yourself with the flow of change is better than trying to know what to do in every scenario and to know plan ahead of what's going to happen next. It's better to know that you are adaptable to many situations and unexpected things, and that will really ease your fear. And then number 5, afraid of being captive, or thinking that I'm captive to abusive people again. I affirm that I have sovereignty over my mind and soul, regardless of what conditions may come to pass. And that is hard. That can be scary. But with these affirmations, I like to do EFT tapping. I forget what it stands for, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube with tutorials, and it really helps me transform my emotional experience of my nervous system, and even my experience of emotions within my body. So affirming that, so that I know that I have safety in my mind and my body, wherever I go and whatever situation I may be in, but also that I have sovereignty over my soul, no matter what may come to pass. Because sure, I can't guarantee that nothing's ever going to happen again, but I can guarantee that that I have peace in my soul, even if my circumstances and my mind are being manipulated against my will. So these are some ways that I face my fears and chase them every day so that they feel smaller. I used to operate very completely out of fear and very based in emotional reactions, and I'm still very in tune with my emotional reactions to things that happen in my world, but my emotions now are so much more frequently positive. The reactions that I have are much more motivated and excited, and thinking more freely with more opportunities. So yeah, okay, that's the video. I hope that helps. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and it helped, feel free to subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, and find my Cash App tag in my description, and feel free to support me making more content. Okay.